Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from Am I the Jerk? Our first post is by Anymite. Am I the jerk for the meltdown I had on Christmas Day which caused my dad's wife to cry? The background starts with my mom dying. I, 17F, was 11 and my sisters were 16 and 18. Our dad met his second wife a couple of years later when I was 13. The expectations for my relationship with her and my sisters were very different. My sisters were expected to be civil, but if they weren't close, it was no big deal. But almost everyone, minus my sisters and minus my mom's family, expected me to see my dad's wife as some second mother or maternal parental figure. They got married when I was 14. My dad's wife wanted me to divide Mother's Day between my sisters and maternal side with her. My sisters were not expected to do the same, but she would say she wanted to celebrate the day with her kid. She signed us up for mother-daughter things. She would get hurt when I didn't want to go and would never ask my sisters. I asked her before why she expected me to do these things with her, but she never invited my sisters. She said she was raising me and wanted to be a mother presence in my life, but they were grown. I told her and my dad on separate occasions that I didn't want or need and wouldn't accept someone else into that kind of figure. I was ignored. I had a small run-in with my sisters when Dad was getting married because I said he shouldn't, and they said he should be allowed to move on and Mom would want him happy. When I explained what was going on, they realized why I was feeling that way. They tried talking to Dad, but it did no good. My dad's side of the family would all make comments that I was lucky to have another mother figure, or how I don't seem to give her the care and consideration she deserves. They would ask why I seemed to spend no time with her of my own free will, or why I was never loving toward her. My dad told me I should show her more love and affection, and he told me I made her feel left out when I didn't tell her stuff or when I made plans with others but not her. I know some people would love to have someone like this in their lives, but I want the same relationship my sisters have with her, but more is expected. So Christmas Day came and everyone was at our house for Christmas, minus my mom's family. My dad and his wife gave me a card from my parents and my sisters got them with Dad and his wife. Then when it became time for family photos, we got one with the three of us and Dad, but then my grandparents wanted me in the family one with my dad and his wife, but my sisters weren't expected to be in it. I tried to step out and my dad's wife said it wasn't a family photo without their kid. This was the point where I lost it, and I told her I am not her kid, she is not my mother figure, that she is Dad's wife just like she is to my sisters and I want it to be that way. I said I do not love her and hate how they all treat her like she suddenly became a parent to me. My sisters were on my side, but my dad was furious, and his wife cried and cried harder as I continued. Am I the jerk? Our next post is by Know Anybody. Would I be the jerk for not allowing my dying cousin to walk down the aisle? My 27F, cousin 23F, was diagnosed with leukemia and is not doing well. I feel terrible for her, but I was never close to her growing up. We grew up in different countries. I'm getting married in March 2024. My aunt came over 2 weeks ago to discuss something. She wants me to let my cousin walk down the aisle with her dad before I walk. I don't feel comfortable with this because yes, it's sad that she won't get to experience this, but isn't it my day to shine? My aunt says that I'm being selfish for not doing this. She spoke to my parents about this, and they don't seem too happy. My in-laws are not pleased too, but they still want me to decide. My fiance doesn't feel comfortable too. My aunt brought my cousin to my place to discuss it last week. Cousin cried, saying she wanted to walk down the aisle and that I should let her. I told her it was my wedding day, so it was not right for her to take over. She then called me selfish and a bridezilla for not caring about her. Like I said, we were never close, so I don't know why she's trying to do this on my wedding day. I told her I needed more time to think, so she's on IG posting cryptic stuff, obviously attacking me. I talked to my friends for non-biased opinions, and they were divided. Some want me to allow her to walk down the aisle because she would never get to experience that, and I'll be doing something nice. Would I be the jerk if I say no? Our next post is by Fickle Risk. Am I the jerk for leaving Christmas dinner early because my Sil wanted to name her daughter the same name as mine but spelt different? I'm a 30F and my husband is a 32M. We have one daughter, Madeline, 8F. I have a sister-in-law, Jasmine, 32F, and she has been having infertility issues for a while now and has had a couple of miscarriages. Jasmine and I aren't that close, but we're friendly to each other. She got pregnant a few months ago and she had her gender reveal party about 2 weeks ago. Everyone was so excited and happy when we found out she was having a girl. During this year's family Christmas dinner, she announced that she was going to name her kid Madeline, but spelt differently, of course, as if that made it any better. Her daughter's name was going to be Madeline. I was completely shocked. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect that Jasmine would want to name her kid Madeline as well. If she told me before we named our daughter, I probably would have taken that into consideration before naming her. I asked Jasmine why she would want to name her daughter the same name as mine, and she said that technically it wasn't the same name since it was going to be spelt different. She also said that her great-aunt's name was also Madeline, and that she thought that Madeline was a cute name. Jasmine also mentioned that Madeline was supposed to be the name of her kid before she had a miscarriage. This was before Madeline was born. I never even knew that was what she wanted to name her kid because she never told anyone. I was really upset and told her she could have just told me before I named my daughter that she also wanted to name her daughter Madeline. She said that I was always such a witch and that I probably would have named my daughter Madeline either way. I don't even know what I ever did to this woman. I then asked what we were going to do about the confusion of them having the same name, and she told me we could use my daughter's middle name. Like what? I told her if anything, we should be calling her daughter by her middle name since my daughter came first. We went back and forth a few more times before I decided to leave early with my husband and Madeline. My daughter was also pretty confused and asked why her aunt would want to name her daughter the same name as her. I'm still really upset and hope she changes her mind, but this morning my brother-in-law texted me and said that I should try to better understand Jasmine and her feelings. I texted him back and told him that she should stop being such a witch and try to understand my feelings instead. I really don't think I'm a jerk, but am I the jerk? Our next post is by Kibitha. Am I the jerk for canceling my aunt's invitation to my wedding when she traveled the world to attend it? My husband and I, 26F, got married 3 weeks ago. My husband is from South Africa, but I am French. So our wedding in the savannah in South Africa was a huge trip for the 13 French guests. We rented a beautiful lodge where you see lions, elephants, etc. And to thank everyone for coming all this way, we rented it for 2 days. Day 1, wedding. Day 2, pool party. We only invited 30 people, the people we love. I had a huge argument with my aunt, 38F, 8 years ago, and we cut ties ever since. But doing the invitations, I thought about how close we used to be. I decided to invite her. There was no +1 for anyone, and so I only invited my aunt. Not her partner or her kid, since I barely knew their names. My aunt said she was happy but insisted that we invite them. I told her no, but my mom teamed with her and pressured me a lot during the year. I explained that the ceremony meant everything to us and that we only want people we love to be present. But my aunt booked flights for her, but also for her family. She said it was a family trip, but added that she heard some of my guests canceled, and so that there is now space for her family. I told her that it would not be happening, but that her family could join us for the pool party the next day. After that, I got even more pressured by my mom into inviting them for the wedding itself because they are coming all this way. But I kept refusing and tried to finish my dress without my mom. On the big day, after the ceremony, my husband and I left for an hour in the savannah with the photographers to make a few photos. As soon as we came back to the lodge, my aunt came to me, smirking. She was holding her kid, her partner was behind her. I'm not the scandal type, I didn't know how to react. In my disbelief, I kissed the kid hello and shook hand with her partner. I immediately felt sad for not defending myself. I then heard my mom and grandma telling my aunt about the extra chairs and food we had and that her family must stay for dinner. My sister lied for me, saying we don't have enough chairs because some are broken. So my aunt announced that they were leaving. I asked why leaving with them. She was supposed to stay for the dinner and they are only 5 minutes away. She replied that she never intended to stay for dinner, but that she will spend time with us when they come back tomorrow for the pool party day. I was shocked. I replied that I had a change of plans and that she and her family could not come for the next day anymore. My mom, usually lovely, lost it and told me that I had no right to cancel my aunt's invitation to the pool party. I reminded her that we paid for the whole wedding ourselves and that she has no say in who I host, and I walked away, but she yelled at my back in front of everyone. She was screaming that the conversation was not over and that I better come back. My sister had to physically bar my mom from running after me. I still stood my ground and kept my aunt from coming back the next day. Am I the jerk? Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.